Firefight.
Hello everybody, my name is Finn, and welcome to the Mailbox. Today we're going to be talking about college. Once again, I'm doing another collab episode with Stemp from the Sleepover channel. See, if you guys just get sick of this dude, just let me know. I'll kick him off the show. Don't worry about that, but we got some advice for you guys today, and it's about college. The things I've learned, the things Stemp has learned, and some advice that maybe your average Google search wouldn't tell you. Maybe. I'm hoping, alright? This video isn't about if you should go to college. This is for the people who've already decided they want to go, and are wanting to know what to expect when they get there. There'll be chapters below so you can see what gets talked about when. This advice is mainly geared towards people who are just about to start college, right? Incoming college freshmen, just graduated from high school. But it definitely still applies to current college students. There are probably some college seniors that need to hear this stuff. I'm not going to lie. Just before we start, if you guys want to have your questions or topics featured on the show, send an email to the mailboxsubmissions@gmail.com. On screen now, it's in the pinned comments. You know the drill by now if you've been watching. With that out of the way, now, let's talk about how to avoid getting roofied. Okay, no, that's not a joke. We talk about that in this video. You need to know. You need to know. Stamp. If you had to do college all over again, because you've lived 4 years.
I've lived 4 years.
You lived 4 years. Yeah, no, I meant, if you had to start from the first year all over again, what would you do differently?
I'd live in a dorm.
Yeah.
I never lived in a dorm. I would also be rich.
That's a great point. Yeah. Why did you not invest in a house in 2008?
Exactly. That was my fault. I should have done that.
Why did you not put money into crypto? You're an idiot.
I think I would have lived in a dorm. I started during COVID, so obviously my experience is going to be a little different. Starting school during COVID, a lot of colleges require you to stay in a dorm. Mine did, but because of COVID, I didn't have to. I lived off campus. I got an apartment and stuff. Unfortunately, what that does is it makes it so that I didn't really meet too many people outside of my classes, and your first couple semesters are usually going to be gen ed stuff. That meant that I didn't really care about meeting people or anything like that in college, which kind of sucked for my first couple semesters because I didn't really make any friends. And I think even though dorms are fucking small and annoying and nobody wants to live in them, I'm sure.
Yeah, no. The communal bathrooms.
Oh, yeah. Nah.
Yeah, I think I'd rather die than, be living on my own right now.
Exactly. I think being forced to live with random people and get used to that is honestly one of the most important skills that you can learn.
Yeah, especially nowadays. You need to know how to do that. We're probably going to be, let's be real, we're probably going to be renting and living with roommates.
For a very long time.
All of us, for a very long time. So you need to learn how to have that skill.
Yeah.
Try to do the dorms. If you can't, though, and this is important for people in dorms to hear anyways, but you are now at a point where friendships are going to take effort. Alright, they aren't just going to magically happen, and it's only going to get worse I'm just going to be real, it's only going to get worse from here on out when moving into the real world. Multiple different reasons for that, but that's not important to this. The important thing is you got to be proactive. You gotta make an effort to go talk to people. I know people always say, "Oh, just join a club, dude." But people wouldn't be saying that cliche advice if it wasn't true. One of the biggest things that foster friendships is just having a common goal or a common experience. Think about how easy it was to make friends in high school when you could just sit next to the person in class you're with every day and complain and bitch about the teacher. Or you're sitting at lunch, right? You can just walk up and just bitch about the quality of Aramark food. It's a shared experience, and you get less of that as you get older. So it's really important that you seek out that sort of stuff. I've seen this sort of insecurity before in people, especially as freshmen, especially. You'll see, all these big groups of people, right? Look, not only, the typical advice of, it's just a bunch of freshmen, they're just going to fall apart in the first 2 weeks, right? The thing to me is that you're probably still going to see groups like that well into the future. Look, that's just the people that stand out, All right. Think of like the ratio of people in a group like that versus people who are not. All right. Think of the likely hundreds, if not thousands, of people who are going through the exact same thing as you, dude. They're looking for someone to talk to. And I mean, even if you do hear about things about how freshman groups always fall apart, don't get discouraged from that. Cause yeah, it may happen, but hey, it may not, and you might find your people, and get lucky. Who knows? I don't know. Just, dude, again, just be proactive, uh, be brave. Though I do feel like it's important to say, though, there will come a time at some point in college where you're going to be alone, all right? That's one thing they don't tell you, all right? I mean, that's the thing with adulthood, too. They don't tell you about this sort of thing, but, like, at some point, like at the beginning of the semester when you don't know anybody, or it could be somewhere in between, right? You'll be alone. Either you're struggling to put yourself out there, you just had your first friend group fall apart, or whatever. Look, you'll be alone, and that's okay, okay? It's good to learn how to be okay with yourself and being alone in your thoughts, or at least getting better at it. I'm just letting you know that's going to happen at some point, and it might be new to you, right? Especially for someone like me, I've always just been surrounded by people all throughout the entirety of middle school, entirely high school. The whole being kind of on my own in college was new to me. You also have to recognize nobody's going to do it for you, okay? Nobody is going to go out and make those friends for you. You have to be proactive in that. You have to do it yourself. So, social anxiety, I get it. It's a bitch. But nothing is going to change unless you do something about it, alright? It'll only get worse unless you take risks. Do not expect college to be the best years of your life. I mean, maybe it is for some, and that's the people you're hearing it from. That's just not, like, dude, no. I mean, think about it. You think of how bad it would be to have your best years of your life in high school. Like, oh, you peaked in high school. Same concept with college. Why would you want, the first few years of your 20s to be peak when you have like 60 more years of life to live, dude? I don't know, that's just my way of thinking. Also, I guess to combat a bit of nihilism about it, just some thoughts that I've had before of like, oh, there's no point. Everyone's just going to drift apart eventually when we get to be adults, when everyone moves away for their jobs. Hearing things about like how college is different from how it used to be, right? I mean, I'm not saying that's wrong. Yeah, all of that is true. But you're still going to be spending 4 years there, dude. Would you rather be lonely? Don't just sit in your dorm and mope about it. Come on, man. Use this time to build your social skills and your connections too. For that job you say is the only thing that matters with college, right? And maybe if you're lucky, you'll find some lifetime friends. The biggest thing for me that I've been learning this year was making plans with people. Oh my god, am I terrible at making plans. See,
oh yeah, don't get me started, man. Something that everybody in college should know is that everybody in college is bad about making plans. If you can somehow get good at it, you're going to be the most liked person around. I'm gonna be very bold in saying that. Because if you can figure out how to properly schedule something with multiple people involved, holy shit, what a life skill to have.
Real. I mean, those are the types of people who are like the glue of the friendships, for those friendships sticking well into the future. I would like to say that during quarantine and stuff, that taught me one life skill, which was keeping in contact with people. I'd like to say I've became the GOAT with that. It's something that you had to learn how to do. During quarantine, my mind shifted a lot on high school. I basically just shifted to thinking, how do I get out of this as fast as possible to move on to college? Locking in and getting shit done. I thought of just doing online school, and so I did that for high school, and I was able to graduate early because of that. Like, I did dual enrollment, but the one very crucial thing, obviously, keep in contact with people, because you're no longer seeing them 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Well, I'm still in contact with all of my high school friends. We still plan hangouts. Of course, obviously, talking with Stemp over here and people like Sabaku, for example, who are all people who are in like different parts of the world, but I've still managed to keep in contact with, even though we live two completely different lives. But making plans, on the other hand, ooh,
figure it out, man.
That's what's up.
Figure it out. Figure out how to make plans.
Dude, that's the one thing I haven't figured out. I would always be friends with people who would make the plans for me. I was friends with the type of person in high school who knew everybody, so I wouldn't have to worry about any of that.
Become good friends with an extrovert? Goated.
That's another tip. Become good friends with an extrovert. Then you don't have to do any of the work. Yeah.
If you really like the class that you're in, or if it's like a big part of your major, minor, whatever, make friends in those classes, because if you guys both like doing the same thing, that makes it so much easier to become friends with them quickly. Some of my best friends I made in like photography classes and stuff like that. And it's by far like the best way to go about that kind of stuff. Just, meeting people and doing things you like. That's why clubs, are a good idea too, if you're able to attend those.
Yeah, you can also find like events and club meets and stuff on boards, right? Like the little college board stuff. I didn't know they still use college boards until I got to college. I found plenty of clubs and events through it. Yeah, just take a look around your campus. They're everywhere. People be putting stuff up all the time. People be putting up flyers. And specifically, the important part with class stuff is to make sure to do things outside of the classroom with your friends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Set up hangouts.
Simply just ask, hey, you want to go grab lunch together or grab coffee? Like something. Make sure at first to do something a little low stakes. Like not anything big plan, just something quick.
I'd like to add
and then later on, yeah.
If it is a friend of the preferred sex.
Preferred sex meaning the type you like to fuck. Just clarifying.
Yeah. I'm sure that they'll get that. But if you are trying to take them, if this is a romantic thing,
trying to take them out.
Yeah, trying to take them out.
Like shoot them.
I was gonna say take them out like on a date. Then pursue it differently. But if you're trying to just be friends with somebody and they happen to be of your preferred sex, whether you're in a relationship or not, you should just make sure that when you are asking to hang out, that your intentions are clear. Noticeably that you are asking them on a date. Whereas if you are trying to just pursue a friendship kind of a thing, maybe don't do one-on-one things with them. You could try to do like a group thing or something like that. Make sure that you're not setting yourself up to look like a creep or something. Be a good person. I feel like I have some decent authority on this topic.
Yeah, Mr. Cockslinger.
All right.
Yeah, Mr.
Hey, don't call me Cockslinger. I'm not Mr. Worldwide. All right.
Mr.
Anyways.
Dating app connoisseur.
Yeah. If you're somebody you haven't been in a relationship and you have no clue what you're doing, I'm telling you, the best thing you can do, take care of yourself. Self-confidence goes a long way. If you're confident in yourself, or if you're not confident in yourself, take care of yourself, whether that is changing your wardrobe or working out or going on dates. Maybe you do the other stuff but you still don't feel like you're enough. Like go on some dates and you feel like they're going successful and all this stuff, then maybe you'll feel a little bit better about yourself because you're like, wow, maybe I can get bitches. If you build that self-confidence though, man, like it goes such a long fucking way. Have good hygiene, dress good, figure out a style that you like that doesn't, involve wearing like basketball shorts and slide-ons with socks, man.
Graphic tees.
Graphic tees can fuck sometimes if you accessorize
if you do
correctly.
Them right. Yeah, if you accessorize, yeah.
And embrace rejection. By the way, if you get a no, feel good about yourself. I know that's crazy to think about because you might be like terrified of rejection. I mean, some people have like some serious rejection fear and stuff like that, and I get that. But if you embrace that rejection is part of being human, and you're like, oh, that's okay, totally understandable, see ya, like, then you don't seem like a fucking weirdo.
Speaking of having sex, let's talk about parties. So, are you the party connoisseur as well?
I have no authority on this. I've been to like one party.
Well, I've been to parties. Most of the time, they're not my forte. Sometimes they're amazing. Definitely the smaller, more like talking to each other oriented parties over frat parties. Those ones are the best.
Yeah, those ones I've been to.
Frat parties and stuff. You go there with your friends, and you can have some fun. Right, dancing and stuff, but that's really all there is to do, and it's not like you can't really talk to people that much, which is, I guess, the issue. I would say stick to cans and bottles. That's the important thing, especially if you are a freshman and new to these sorts of functions. Especially
if you are a woman.
If you are a woman, yeah, I was getting to that. Unfortunately, trust me, I know from experience it can happen to men too.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it attempted. Just with the way the world is, women are a lot more at risk.
People are weirdos.
Yeah. Stick to cans and bottles.
Don't leave your drink unattended.
Do not
This is
buy,
general advice for bars too.
Yeah, do not buy the random concoctions that they conduct in like the back kitchen of a frat house.
Like if you don't know everybody that well, or if somebody in that group
Mhm.
you feel like is kind of a weirdo, if you're getting a mixed drink, watch your drink get made.
Just know the safest thing to do is just to stick to it. Alcoholic cans, alcoholic bottles.
Yeah.
You know, the drink is going to taste like shit anyways, so you might as well stick to something safe.
Crack open
Another
that
thing you
bottle or
could do
can
is
yourself.
I've heard of this thing. You could be able to get those, like, I don't know if they're like these Stanley cups. I've seen these before. I don't know the name of them. I'll look them up. These cups that you can put the drinks in, and they have a sealable cap. And as long as you make sure to put the cap on every time after you take a sip, you know, you'll be good. Right? And it keeps your drink cold, and it's got a cool design on it. Like, I don't know, put some stickers on it or something. It's pretty baller. And I guess this is a lot more relevant for the bigger parties, because smaller parties, I guess that depends on the circumstance, but generally you won't get as lost as easily. But at the bigger functions, especially like the yard functions and they spread outside of the house, make sure to have a group and stick with at least one person, right? So you have like a buddy system.
Have a buddy.
Have a buddy. Yeah, it sounds like baby shit, but it really is the thing you gotta do. It's what keeps people from getting lost. It's how you keep track of people when everyone gets completely shit-faced. If you need to, hold hands. It isn't gay, alright? Just hold hands. It's so you don't get separated. Don't be insecure about that. And if a woman grabs your hand at a big party when you guys are moving around, because I'm sure the fellas will get a lot more confused than women on this, it does not mean that they like you romantically. It just means they want to stay safe.
And they trust you enough to keep them that way?
And they trust you enough. Don't fuck up that trust, all right?
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you're pursuing a relationship or something like that, man, don't try to pressure people into shit. Make sure that everything that is happening is okay. Make sure that if they're intoxicated, then you just make sure that they're okay. With, you know, how shit is and how fucking some people can be complete weirdos and creeps, a lot of people that you are going to meet in college have probably experienced some form of, like, sexual assault, unfortunately. It's just, it's gonna happen.
It is a lot more common than it seems.
It's so much more
common
than it seems.
than we'd like to admit. It's really bad.
If you
hold on, sorry to interrupt, but also as another thing, be very, very, very careful when there are parties that say Greeks only, but all girls are invited for free. Sometimes it is done for safety. That's what they say. It is for safety, to make sure that, you know, no random guys come in and like try to drug up people. But at the same time, if this is a bit of a seedy frat, this could also just be their way of being able to do shit without having to report it, or do shit without it being caught.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a case-by-case basis, but just, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, make sure that if you are with someone and you guys are going to get intimate or something like that, make sure that you're both in a good state of mind, and understand that if they say stop, you stop.
You stop? You dumbass? You stop?
Dumbass. Don't keep going. Don't expect it to go. Even if you've already started, don't expect to get to the finish line, man. If they're in the middle of it and everything was fine, and then all of a sudden they're like, whoa, stop, like, be able to do that. I know it's hard. I know you're probably...
I know it's really hard.
I'm sure you are too.
It's really hard, dude.
They're clearly under an immense amount of stress or pressure in this moment, and your goal should be to make them comfortable.
Yeah, make them comfortable.
Make them... do actually try to make them comfortable. Make sure that everything you are doing, they are 100% okay with. If that means you have to ask them outright, like, hey, is it okay if I do this? Like, it might seem cheesy, but I'm telling you, that goes such a long way.
Yeah, and also, you don't gotta do it in, like, an awkward way, either. You know, it doesn't have to be awkward. You can say that shit in, like, a sexy way. And, I mean, I'll let you look up how to do that yourself, because I don't want to talk about that. So, consent is hot.
Yeah.
Also, another thing, huge thing, use contraceptives. Don't be stupid. Use contraceptives.
Get tested. Your campus most likely has some sort of like a health center or something like that. I don't know if this goes for every campus, but my campus's health center does free STD checks. I don't think they cover everything, but they do cover a decent amount. All you gotta do, for mine at least, is pee in a cup.
Nice.
And they'll test you for like some of the more common stuff. But if you are somebody who is regularly sexually active and maybe with multiple partners, or if you're not in a committed relationship and like maybe you're only seeing one person but there's a chance they could be seeing other people or whatever, just get tested. Get tested every once in a while. If you have a new partner or something, something along those lines, it's better to be safe than sorry. You don't want to be spreading stuff around. You don't want to get stuff yourself, and it's better to catch these things.
And there's
it's
plenty
better
of, don't worry about it. There's plenty of contraceptives that, like, you can figure out what works for you. Of course, do the smart thing and do what's going to
wrap it before you tap it type beat.
Not only are condoms the easiest to get and the least amount of downsides and the most amount of comfort for everybody involved, right? Don't be a pussy and say, oh, it doesn't fit, or oh, it's too tight. You figure it out.
Get a Magnum, dude.
Figure it out,
Magnums
pussy. Figure it out.
Magnum
Jesus.
dong.
It's not that hard. No pun intended. It's not that hard. Figure it out. They've got plenty of different sizes. You'll find something that works, alright? Go to the gas station. No one's gonna give a fuck, alright? You're an adult now. Grow up. Go ahead and go buy some before you head off to college to make sure that you're not caught without it. You're not motivated to be stupid, and you'll have them there. You'll have no excuse. You also, think about it this way, fellas. You get to last longer with condoms. Think about it this way. You don't really have to worry that much about performance stuff if you're a fella who, releases a bit too quickly. Think about it. You will be able to last longer and pleasure your partner more. Like, dude, that's a win-win. And no babies or STDs. Okay, that's a win-win.
Lower chance of those things happening.
There's
still always a chance, guys. You don't forget that.
Sorry, I exaggerated a little bit, but lower chance. So I saved academics and stuff like that for last. It's the best, or I mean, it could be the worst for last. I don't know. Look, there's plenty of advice out there about this sort of thing, but I want to focus on the aspect of actually doing the work itself, because it's going to be different to how you're used to it being in high school, right? Nobody's looking over your shoulder to make sure you get stuff done, and this is where your grades start to matter a lot more. College is now it becomes one of those things where if you do not do your work, shit can get bad real fast. And if you've got any previous habits from back in your high school days that worked in high school, it will not work in college. College is a whole different ball game. I can say from experience, I hate the term gifted kid, but it's really the only word there is to describe this. But it's like, the work was incredibly easy to me. I would ace a lot of tests and generally do pretty good. I was AB on a roll the entire time. But the thing is, I never learned how to study, right? I never, learned how to organize my time, because I never had to. I mean, I would try. That's not to say I never tried. I never learned how to do it. And then college comes around and these sorts of things stack up. These sorts of things stack up. I can't get away with the stuff that I used to. I can't just let the assignments stack up and be late and do them all later and ace everything after that and get out just fine with an A+. I can't do that anymore. I have to be on top of things, or you will fail, and it's
and die.
You will fail and die. You need to be good at building those new habits. I don't know if you've went through similar stuff in high school. I don't know if you were the same way, but
yeah, for the most part, I got in this mindset really young that before high school it didn't matter, and so I didn't really do homework or anything like that. And then high school came around and I kind of slacked off a bit. I mean, I still graduated. I did fine. But I just didn't really acknowledge it as anything that was super important, and I need to know how to do this stuff. And I mean, even now in college, I can be a bit of a slacker sometimes. I failed an entire semester. I failed every single class in a semester because I just didn't do homework. I mean, granted, I was a little depressed and whatnot, but still, I didn't do any of my work. I didn't do the things that I should have been doing, and in the long run, it's going to cost me a bunch of fucking money. When the smart thing to do...
Yeah, the smart thing to do is to lock in.
Yeah.
You need help with all the work and stuff, There's plenty of stuff you can look up online about how to organize yourself, about how to study. Plenty of resources, and also reach out. Actually reach out to the departments and to all the people in college who are there to help you figure this specific stuff out. Pretty sure everywhere has free, tutors for anything, for studying or for math. I don't know. One last thing. Uh, Look, don't use that chat GPT shit, okay? I know everyone else is doing it and they look like they're not getting caught, but dude, no. Especially for certain degrees, you need to know what you're doing. You need to, like, this is not just about getting good grades on a piece of paper. It's about retaining what you actually learned. And you can't do that when you have all the machines doing it for you. You need to know what you're doing. Like, dude, you need to know what you're doing if you want to be able to hold down a job, let alone even let alone even get a job. Like, are you stupid? Hopefully not. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, that's about it for what me and Stemp talked about. I mean, if there's any of you guys currently attending college, you thought I missed something, hey, leave the comment down below. Talk about your experience with college and like what sort of advice you would give. I'll probably make a future video about more things that I've learned as well. Maybe include some of your guys' suggestions as well. If you guys have any, you could also send them to the mailbox submissions at gmail.com. In the description, just type a little email. Please, please, it's so empty. It's so empty. It just full of dust. Please. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.